Hello all, in this video let's discuss about comment lines and its usage in C language. Now, what do you mean by comment lines? Comment lines are mainly used for documentation purpose. It means if someone is going through a piece of code and if he wishes to know about the author of the code, when that code was written or why that code was written or what was the logic behind that code and so on and so forth, then the best place to give these information are in the form of comment lines. Now, having said that, how many types of comment lines are there in C language? There are two types of comment lines in C language. The first one is called as multi-line comments and the second one is called as single line comments. So, any comment line that starts with a forward slash star mark and ends with a star mark and a forward slash are called as multi-line comments. We call it as multi-line comments because multiple lines can be commented out using multi-line comments. Whereas the second category is called as the single line comments, which starts with two forward slashes. And the use of single line comments is to only comment out a single line. You cannot comment out multiple lines using single line comments. For example, if you can see in this example over here, I have a single statement which has been spanned over two lines. Okay, so the below statement prints hello on the screen. This is a single statement which has been written in two different lines, and if I had to comment out these two lines, then I had to use two single line comments. Whereas if I had to comment out this statement, that is the below statement prints hello on the screen, if I had to comment out this statement using multi-line comments, then I could have written it like this with a forward slash star mark the below statement, okay, on the screen, and I could have ended it with a star mark and a forward slash. So this is basically the use of multi-line comments. So it means if you have multiple lines of code or multiple lines of statements that you have to actually comment out, then you can basically make use of multi-line comments. And if you wish to comment out only a single line, then you can make use of single line comments using two forward slashes. Right. So these are the two types of comment lines. One is called the multi-line comments and the second one is called as single line comments. Right. Now, what is the main advantage of using comment lines? The one and only advantage or the one and only usage of comment lines is to improve readability through proper documentation. Now, let me explain this with an example. In this slide, I have given you two versions of the same program. The one on the left hand side is this, is a program which does not have a documentation proper. It does not maintain proper documentation, whereas the same program on the right hand side has maintained proper documentation. Now if given a chance to you, which one would you actually prefer, the left hand side or the right hand side? Okay, obviously I know that you would actually prefer writing the code in the manner that is written on the right hand side. It is because when I give the left hand side code to anyone to read and understand, then he might really find it very difficult, or he might have to go through each and every line of this code to understand what is happening in this piece of code. Whereas if I give the right hand side code to a person to and ask him what is happening in this code, then he would actually make sense of this program just by looking at the comment lines, because on the comment line it has been told this is a C program to swap two numbers, right? So that is what is the main advantage of using comment lines, right? So professional programmers are not who just write good code, but they are the ones who will also maintain proper documentation using comment lines, right? Because professional programmers knows the importance of real good documentation. Having said that, okay, now I want to tell you two important points about comment lines in C. Okay, the first one is that comment lines are not part of the executable file. Now, what do you mean by this line? Comment lines are not part of the executable file. The meaning of this line is that during compilation, compiler will not convert your comment lines into binary code. It means comment lines are ignored by the compiler. Or in simple words, compiler will not compile these comment lines, because compiler knows that comment lines are used for human beings or programmers to read and understand the code. Compiler knows that the comment lines are used for documentation purpose and they are not executable statements. Okay, so compilers will not convert your comment lines into any kind of assembly instructions. They are ignored by the compiler. That is what the first line says. Comment lines are not part of the executable file. Okay, I am repeating once again, comment lines are used for human beings to understand what is basically happening in the code. Example, the author of the code, the date and time when it was written, or the program logic, or why this program was written in the first place, and so on and so forth, right? So that is what is told by the first first point. Okay, and the second point says comment lines cannot be nested. If done, it will result in a compile time error. It means you cannot nest a multi-line comment. Okay, I will show you that, and I will also show you that we would actually get an error. So I have a program which says comment line example. So vi comment line example.c. So as you can see here, this is basically a multi-line comment, but you can also see that, okay, a multi-line comment has been nested within another multi-line comment, right? So if I compile this program, okay, if I compile this program, I will actually get an error. As you can see on the screen, yes, we got an error because the comment lines were nested. We had one comment line within another comment line. So let me remove this nested comment line and see if there would be a problem. Obviously, no, there won't be any problem, and there won't be any compile time error. Okay, and the program compiled successfully. And if I run this code, I would get the output as hello. Okay, which is what has been which has been coded in this program. Okay, so that is what the second line says. So comment lines cannot be nested. If done, it will result in a compile time error, right? So this is all about comment lines, guys. To just give you a quick recap, okay, comment lines are used for documentation purpose. It is basically used for improving the readability of the code, right? So if someone is actually going through the code, and if he wants to make sense of that particular code as to, or very, if he wants to quickly understand what is happening in that code, okay, and the best way is to actually read the comment section, right? So any code which does not maintain a proper documentation is really written by a poor programmer who is not professional at it, right? So if you want to be a professional programmer, try to improve the code readability by maintaining proper documentation. Having said that, hope you learned many things about comment lines. Okay, so if you really like the video, do not forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon. Let me meet you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye. See you.